Hi, it's Raj Appala, co-founder and CEO of Applaa. As a parent, we want to give the best experience for our kids. I've got two kids, 11 plus, and other one is doing GCSE exams. So we've spent a lot of time and a lot of money for tuitions, 40, 50 pounds a class on math, science, and English, and many things. And also we've tried out platforms and people saying, okay, use Atom Learning, iExcel, and this and that. And they're okay, but at the end of the day, you're paying 40, 50 pounds for them, and it's really not working out. It's just like only one, and again, where do you go for the next, right? And it's just like a simple mock exam practice, it's there are so many things you can do. It's not really a comprehensive feedback mechanism tool, right? That's what I think. I got really frustrated with all these tools, and again, spending with teachers and tutors is not really working out. So here, that's why we built Applaa with the vision of actually helping kids as early as, like from year 8 years onwards to all the way to the GCSEs. We've got the whole curriculum built. Again, we've digitalized the whole UK curriculum here. So, and actually we're giving a value only 9.99 a month, £10, right? What is that? Is the cost of a pizza, even less than that. And so we want to give that a best experience for everyone. You can really see from year 4 to year 11, they can see every single subject, math, they can able to look at this lesson. They can practice but understand the concept first rather than writing an exam for the sake of writing. And then you can able to do a lot of practice also. Then, what is this thing? And then you can see the assessment and whatever you wanted to do. And you can do a lot of things again each year, year 4, year 5, year 6, all the way to there, right? And that's about it. And also you can, once you have there, then probably, most people will go for 11 plus, which obviously you can really see. And yeah, so we have built a comprehensive 11 plus past papers, around 5,000 papers we have. And again, four topics: verbal, non-verbal, math, and English. So you can able to see pretty much everything. You can take exams. Also, you can get the feedback. Also, you can see how many exams you've been taking. And these are the exams I've been taking, verbal reasoning, and also you can really give the feedback by the subject, by lesson, and at least it will give you a really great feedback for the parent and also teacher for obviously if he's having a teacher and also parent and the kid for writing them as well. You can do quite a lot of things as well. So an example, let's take an exam for verbal reasoning. So you can really see that it actually I did an exam math for now before it actually tells you where you got right, where you got wrong. It's really great, right? As a parent, you cannot able to tell, what is the correct answer, right? So you can able to do, and it's brilliant, isn't it? So it just saves a lot of time. A lot of institutions are charging 40, 50 pounds, even for a paper sometimes, cost like that. And we're giving for free 5,000 questions, right? And many unlimited questions and papers they can do, all for 9.99, and they can do practice again if you want to do it. Just simply go and write an exam, and you can able to see submit papers. You can directly see as well, and the results coming through. As an example, let me go back and show the exam as well. So if you see some of the exams what I've done just now, you can see that exam coming through as well. You can really see the results. So it's just brilliant way to actually get the feedback as well as assessments for the kid who is writing the exam and studying, as well as for parents not to spend too much time for them to sit with them and write down exams, and also more importantly the cost. And we'll explain a lot also all of this in subsequent videos. You can also see that as well. I really trust this is valuable, and take advantage of this offer. It's only 9.99, which is a significantly lower cost. Anyone can able to afford it. It's a cost of a small pizza these days, and compared to 40, 50 pounds a tuition class. And I truly trust this is helpful for you. And yeah, sign up at applaa.com/UK, applaa.com/UK, and register for free. And it's 1 month free as well for you guys. So make use of it. And if you're writing the 11 plus exam, all the best. And again, we'll explain further details also in the subsequent videos. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to today's explainer. Now, if you're guiding a child through the 11 plus exam, you already know that just learning the material, well, that's really only half the battle. The ultimate challenge usually comes down to this incredibly tricky high wire act, mastering both speed and accuracy. So today, we're going to dive deep into how to actually build this equilibrium. All right, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start by unpacking the 11 plus exam dilemma and then walk through a proven three-step formula: building accuracy, controlled speed, and exam readiness. We'll wrap it all up with the ultimate review cycle. First up, the 11 plus exam dilemma: speed versus accuracy. Which one actually matters more? Well, make no mistake, for a highly competitive exam like the 11 plus, you absolutely need both to succeed. But here is the secret to the entire prep process. One of these must absolutely, non-negotiably come first. To really wrap our heads around why one has to come before the other, let's look at the two most common failure states we see in 11 plus prep. It's basically the classic tortoise and hare scenario. So first, you have the hare. This is the student who is incredibly fast but careless. They just fly through the paper, they finish with 10 minutes to spare, but they leave this absolute trail of avoidable miscalculations and misread questions behind them. They are bleeding valuable marks. Then, on the other hand, you have the tortoise. This student is highly accurate but just too slow. They get absolutely everything right that they actually attempt, which feels amazing, but they leave 20% achieving that triple threat. It is not about just throwing a kid into timed mock exams over and over again and crossing your fingers that they naturally get faster. Honestly, that usually just skyrockets their anxiety. Looking at the source material, there's actually a highly logical, super manageable 3-step formula to hit this perfect equilibrium. Step 1 is accuracy. Step 2 is controlled speed. And step 3 is exam readiness. Following this exact sequence is the game changer. It removes the panic and replaces it with real confidence. So let's get into it. Step 1, building accuracy. This foundational phase is all about understanding the core method and learning to read prompts carefully, completely free from the cognitive overload of a ticking clock. Take a look at this geometry question we pulled from the Applaa platform. It brilliantly proves the point. Notice that difficulty 5 rating at the top? Yeah, it's a tough one. It's asking for the area of a triangle with a base of 12 centimeters and a perpendicular height of 5 centimeters. If a student is rushing, their panicked brain is probably just going to grab the two numbers they see, multiply 12 by 5, and incorrectly pick 60. Speed and introducing limits. Okay, so once that foundational accuracy is rock solid, it's time to transition. But listen carefully. You do not go from zero pressure to full-blown, intense exam conditions overnight. That is a total recipe for disaster. Instead, you gently introduce limits. Notice the timer counting down from just over 39 minutes? That shows exactly how controlled speed is seamlessly introduced on platforms like Applaa. The student here is tackling a really demanding difficulty 4 question about the area of a triangular field, right? So the brain power required is still significant, but now there's this gentle, overarching time limit across a whole set of questions. It teaches them to maintain the accuracy they just built while developing a natural internal rhythm. And the best part? It prevents their success rate from dropping off a cliff due to sudden panic. Next is Section 4. Step 3, achieving exam readiness, on difficulty 1 arithmetic question. He has 56, loses 20, how many are left? A prepared student needs to knock that out in mere seconds to bank the points. But then, look at the other example. A difficulty 4 time calculation with overlapping school program days and hour slots. That requires parsing a ton of text and doing multiple steps. In a real exam, a student must instantly recognize the massive difference between a quick win question and a total time sink. They have to make ruthless, efficient decisions about where to spend their time across a paper that constantly shifts in difficulty. Which means we kinda need to redefine what being fast actually is. Speed should never ever mean rushing blindly or to Section 5, the ultimate review cycle and effective mock testing. So how do we continually build and enforce these skills? Well, a massive pitfall for a lot of parents and tutors is treating a mock test like it's just a way to get a final score. A mock test is not the finish line, folks. It's a diagnostic tool. Imagine a kid gets a 65%. That raw number tells you almost nothing about how to actually help them improve. You need to turn that score into actionable data, using a checklist just like this one. When you're going through incorrect answers, you have to ask, did they get it wrong because they fundamentally misunderstood the concept? Was it a simple arithmetic slip-up, a flaw in their logic? Or was it just pure carelessness because they were rushing? You also need to isolate specific topics, like fractions or spatial reasoning, and really evaluate the time taken per question. Because only then do you know exactly what requires a trip back to untimed practice. By doing this rigorously, you create this incredibly powerful continuous feedback loop. You test. You carefully review the whole test, not just the score at the top. You identify their specific weaknesses using that checklist. You go back to step 1 and practice those exact weaknesses accurately without a timer, and then you test again. This continuous loop takes 11 plus preparation from being a highly stressful guessing game and turns it into a systematic, reliable engine for continuous improvement. So if you take away just one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Read this carefully, especially if you or your child are feeling the immense, crushing pressure of those ticking clocks. The fastest student is not necessarily the strongest student. The strongest student is the one who took the time to build their foundation of accuracy first and then naturally accelerated from a place of deep, real understanding. That is the true equilibrium you're striving for. And achieving that balance, it requires consistent, targeted practice across all subjects. As you can see with the Applaa Learning Hub, it's not just about maths. This equilibrium applies equally to English, verbal reasoning, and nonverbal reasoning. Building accuracy before speed is pretty much a universal law of exam prep, no matter what subject you're tackling. So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder today. Are you currently pushing for speed before the foundation of accuracy is truly set? And if so, are you ready to reset that balance and find your true equilibrium today?